Good afternoon, everyone. It's 1 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Alex, and I am excited to welcome everybody to NGA's Aeronautical Dissemination Team's monthly webinar series. Today, we will be covering doghouses, airdrop, and Aero app support. As a reminder, the webinar is being recorded and will be stored on the aeroapp.info website for later reference. We're going to start with some introductions from the NGA dissemination team, so I'll hand it over to Bruce Farnham to start that for us.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Bruce Farnham. I'm the Aeronautical Dissemination Program Officer. What does that mean? It means I'm responsible for our distribution of our aeronautical data through our websites and the aeronautical application. I've been working on the aeronautical application for about 7 years now, since its inception. But prior to working for NGA, I was in the Army. I'm a retired Army CW4 with 20 years of aviation experience in the Army. I'm qualified in a half dozen aircraft, instructor pilot in a couple different aircrafts. I've also flown civilian helicopters and airplanes, to include corporate jets. Why am I telling you this? I want you guys to know that the Aero app is not being developed by some non-aviators who don't understand your mission. We've been in your boots, we understand your mission, and we want to make sure that this application is what you all want. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. So as I mentioned before, my name's Alex, and I am the Deputy Program Officer for the Aeronautical Dissemination Team. I've been with NGA for almost 3 years now and started out as an area analyst for the US, Canada, and Panama, where I processed all of the airfield and en route data before moving into this position in March. So up next is Lieutenant Colonel Bischoff.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Lieutenant Colonel Tom Bischoff, go by Metro. I'm your military representative for the dissemination team. I have over 30 years experience, 8 deployments. 3 of my last deployments were tactical with the Special Operation Forces as the J6. So we're excited to give you a good product, and we're interested to hear everybody's feedback. At this time, I'll hand it over to Hilton. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Hilton Goldstein. I'm the CEO and founder of Hilton Software. Started the company more than 10 years ago. I've been working with NGA for the last few years, working obviously on Aero app and adding a whole lot of new functionality to that. And we're very excited to be showing you some of that new technology today. Handing it off to Carla.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carla Rivera. I'm the Executive Assistant to Dr. Goldstein. I'm also the Government Liaison over here at Hilton Software.
Thanks, everybody. So now we will cover just a few rules of engagement. I'm sure everybody is familiar with these since we've been doing webinars for a while now. So please remember to mute your microphones during the demonstration unless asking a question. We welcome questions throughout, so please feel free to speak up or enter your questions in the chat. Our team will be monitoring the chat and addressing any questions that come up. If we're not able to answer your question during the webinar, we're happy to reach out directly and answer any questions that you have. The agenda for today, we're going to start with an intro to the NGA Aeronautical Office, and then we'll move into our feature demonstration for doghouses, airdrop, and then we will move into aeroapp.info and the Aero app support that Hilton Software provides. After that, we'll cover some Q&A and open discussion. So at this point, I will hand it over to Bruce to give you a little bit of background about NGA's Aeronautical Office.
This being our first webinar, I just want to make this short and sweet to give you an understanding about NGA's Safety of Navigation Office. And I'm doing that because, I'll be honest, I was a 20-year Army aviator, and I didn't truly understand where all these products come from, who developed them, what were the people behind them. I just knew they showed up every 28 days. DAFIS was loaded into my aircraft. I grabbed my flip books, planned my mission, went flying. But NGA has the DoD mission of producing and gathering all the aeronautical data and products our government needs to conduct its aeronautical missions around the world. We produce flight information publications that are created every 28 days. We've been doing this for nearly 50 years. The line of products include, your planning documents, your instrument approach plates, airport diagrams, arrival and departure procedures, IFR en route charts, DAFE if it go in your FMS, airfield facility reports, nav plan charts. We maintain worldwide database of over 48,000 airfields and heliports. We manage aeronautical exchange agreements with many countries around the world. And every 28 days, we produce a suite of publications used to conduct your missions, and we distribute them around the world through DLA. So tons and tons of these paper products go out the door every 28 days. But not until the end of my career did I realize and learn what NGA's aeronautical mission really was. I didn't understand that there is approximately 300 aeronautical analysts that collect, process, analyze, validate aeronautical data every 28 days. Why is this important? Well, because there's other companies out there that distribute aeronautical data. The difference between us and them is we're the authority for the DoD. We validate our data. So all that information coming from those foreign partners, we review it, validate it before we publish it. Not all the commercial companies do that. A lot of them have disclaimers that they're not responsible for their data, but we always are. Lastly, over the last 10 years, 10 years ago, NGA and the Tri-Services realized that we needed to start moving away from paper products to a digital copies of paper products for use in mobile devices to replace in the cockpits. NGA and the Tri-Services all understood that we needed a DoD-owned solution to prevent commercial companies from holding the DoD hostage as far as delivering products and displaying them. So the Tri-Services levied a requirement on NGA to produce an EFB that ran on iOS, Android, and Windows mobile devices. That means we had to develop something that had commonality. They wanted to be able to pick up a Windows tablet, use it, put it down, and grab an Android tablet and still have the same user interface. So that's what we have done. They needed a requirement to operate disconnected in austere environments without Wi-Fi. So when we developed the Aero app, we did that. We give you alternative methods for loading data, shipping data, either DVD, side loading it through an Aero data server. So that's what sets us apart from some of the commercial applications. You're not reliant on the Wi-Fi or the internet. We don't transmit any of your mission data through our applications. But to do all this, we understood that we're the government. We're not necessarily the greatest at developing applications, so we sought out a company that was an expert in developing electronic flight bags and had experience on all three platforms. So we discovered Hilton Software. They're the developers of WingX. You might have heard that product. It's EFB. And they had the experience in all three operating systems. So we awarded a contract for the mobile application in late 2013, and they've retained that contract since. We just awarded them another 3 years developing and enhancing the Aero app. But lastly, I just want to say that this is a DoD-owned application, meaning it is your application, and through the requirements process, you can help us direct the development. If you see capabilities you want and need, it's nice to call our office and say, boy, we'd sure like this. But really, if you go through the requirements process through your services, that helps get those capabilities added to the application. Again, thanks for joining us today, and I will hand it back to Alex.
Thanks, Bruce. So now we are going to move into our first feature demonstration. So Bruce and Hilton will provide a little bit of background and introduction on doghouses, and then Hilton will perform the demonstration and then move into the airdrop feature as well.
These doghouses were a request from the Army. For those of you out there that are in the Army, when you do your mission planning, we always created our route and we drew these little doghouses on the side of our nav plan charts or whatever map we are using. that helped us keep on time, because we had a goal of to be on target plus or minus 30 seconds, no matter how far we had to fly. So we had these dog houses to help us do that, but you're always adjusting your speed up, slow down, and hoping you could hit your target on time. Well, we've developed this that'll help you do that, make it easier. And that being said, I'm going to hand this off to Hilton Goldstein to talk about what they've created.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Hilton Goldstein. So what we're looking at here is Aero app. I've just put in a route from San Jose, Sunol, Sacramento, etc. And what I'm going to do is turn on dog houses. So you go to the route button and you'll see there's a dog house option kind of near the bottom. You can tap on that, and then what you can do is you can say show dog houses and time on target. So let's say we wanted to make this, basically you can set whatever time on target you want. Once you've done that, you can set your ground speed. It then calculates your estimated time of departure. That would be from San Jose. It gives you your estimated time en route as well as your estimated time of arrivals at each one of your points. Then what it does is it will display the dog houses directly on the moving map with some numbers on there. The first number is basically sequentially. You'll notice it goes from 1 to 2, and the next one will be 3 and 4 and so on, just to tell you essentially what leg you're on. The second number is your bearing from one point to the next point. The second number down at 15.6 and the 51.8 is your distance in nautical miles. The next point is basically your estimated time en route to those points. And then we added something at the end there, which is really, really useful. As Bruce mentioned, you're speeding up, slowing down, really trying hard to get within 30 seconds, doing a whole bunch of calculations. Obviously depends on the wind, depends on your speed, just various things involved with trying to hit that point. You got to do some math calculations, a lot of heads down time, a lot of sort of busy time. So what we did is we essentially added a time delta there. So for example, if you look at this doghouse, for us to get to Sacramento, it says 40 seconds. So what the plus 40 seconds means, think of the plus as what you have to do to your speed. So plus means you got to go faster. So if you see plus 40 seconds, that right now it means you're going to be 40 seconds late. You're going to get there 40 seconds over your time. So you don't have to do any math. You don't have to do any thinking, any calculations. You just see a plus sign. You go a little bit faster. The 40 will become 38, 35, etc. It'll drop down. And so just by simply using that, I think of it as kind of like an ILS or a glide slope, like a time glide slope, so to speak. But it just makes the flying of that just a whole lot simpler. And so we're very excited about that. Hopefully this reduces heads down time, gives pilots more time to fly the aircraft, and just makes hitting your time on target a lot more accurate. So that covers dog houses. Again, you turn it on and off simply by tapping on the route button in the bottom left, and then tapping on dog houses, and it lists your route in there, and it lists your you set the time on target and the ground speed, and it calculates your time of departure. Obviously, if you leave a little late, it'll tell you to speed up, and vice versa. So it does all these calculations in real time, approximately once per second. So it's up to date all the time. Okay. The next thing I'm going to jump into is just a new feature we added, which is really, really useful. One of the challenges is, as Bruce mentioned, Aero app works in a disconnected environment, which means you got to have all the data on the iPad. Started off using G Hub, which is a server running at NRL. From there, it was just getting hammered as more and more people started adopting Aero app. And so we moved to the cloud, which has really, really helped us. Think of it as sort of an infinite bandwidth of data. And so as we scaled up, our services there were able to scale up. And pretty much since we've rolled that out, we just haven't had any issues with people getting their data. So that's great. We also introduced something called Aero Data Server, and there'll be a webinar on this later. If you don't know, Aero Data Server is, just think of it as a file server sitting on your network. So that way you don't even have to hit the internet, and it's really, really fast because it's on your network. So with Aero Data Server, you can download an entire cycle just in a couple of minutes. You can be in a disconnected environment. So it really just makes getting data a lot simpler, quicker, faster, more reliable. Then we took it one step further, and when Apple introduced AirDrop on iPhones and iPad, we basically adopted that technology. And so now if you're sitting next to someone you don't have to even be on the same network. So you can be sitting in a C17, no connection whatsoever, just tap on the AirDrop button and AirDrop an entire cycle just in a couple of minutes. So if someone forgets to update their data set, or a cycle just ended and the next one started, or let's just say, for example, they did not download a particular region, you just AirDrop it to them. So it's very, very simple. Let me show you how to do that. All the data sort of downloading and sending goes through where you tap on App Management. You'll see in the top right. And then if you tap on the data button, it's already selected. So on the data button, we have, you're familiar with this if you're familiar with Aero app. You'll notice a new button up in the top right. So you'll see it says share. So let me tap on that button. What this does is this brings up the data sharing page. It might look a little complicated, but it's actually pretty straightforward. If you look at the top third, it's the regions that you can select to send the data for those regions. The middle section is data type. So are you sending core data? Are you sending EPOLs, for example? And then we've got some additional data sets down there, such as giant reports or the base map, that really are not tied to a data cycle or region, for example. So we kind of kept those separately. If you look in the very bottom, you'll notice it says includes global and georeferencing. So when you download core data or AirDrop core data, that'll include the georeferencing for instrument approach procedures, airport diagrams, and so on. So let me go ahead and let's say we wanted to do Africa. So I just tapped on Africa, and we wanted to do, let's say, CONUS. You'll notice now what it's saying is if we want to send Africa and CONUS all of core data for those two regions, it would be 1.7 gigabytes. If we wanted, let's say, giant reports, that would be another 338 megabytes. So if I tap on core data, you'll notice that displays. If look in the very bottom right, you'll see 1.7. And then I'm going to select, so let's say, giant reports. Okay, so now I've selected what I want to send, and I'm going to tap on the send button, which is in the very top right-hand corner. Again, you can do this in about 5 seconds. You go Africa, CONUS, I want core data and giant reports. Done. You hit the button in the top right, select AirDrop. At this point, it should be very familiar if you've ever AirDropped something to someone else. So you select AirDrop. I see Carla there. Let me send it to her. I just tap on it. It's waiting for her to acknowledge that she wants to receive these files. It's now sending. Again, what this is doing is, we don't even need a network to do this. So basically, it's sending it directly from my device to her device. As you can see, it's almost at 50% of the way already. So that's sending all of CONUS, all of Africa, all giant reports, and everything. So just within a few seconds, all the data from my device has been sent over to Carla's device, and she now has all current flip charts, all current, airport information, waypoints, whatever she needs that I selected in Africa and CONUS, and that's it, and that's done. So we made it very, very simple. Basically, tap on AirDrop, select the region, select the data types you want, and hit send. And then obviously, just typically with AirDrop is you select who you want to send it to, and they get it. So it's just very simple, easy to use. And again, this sort of furthers our desire to make moving data to Aero app quicker. So, the first step was AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, the cloud. The second piece there that we did was ADS, which is the Aero Data Server, and now we've added AirDrop onto iOS devices. So very, very exciting, very easy. You don't need the internet anymore to download data. You can sideload data into ADS. There are just numerous ways. Someone once asked us, why there are different ways to download data. Well, this is why. Is because different crew are in different environments. Some are connected, some are not connected. Some might have ADS, some might not have ADS. And so we have very different types of technology to download it, whether it's AirDrop, AWS, ADS. But we want to make sure that you get your data as quickly as possible, as reliably as possible. And I just want to end off by saying that each one of these data sets, whether it's Africa, CONUS, Giant Reports, whether you download from ADS, AWS, GHub, wherever you're getting your data, every single data set that gets delivered to your iPad has a signature file attached to it. And before any data gets ingested to be able to be used on your device, it is verified with that signature. So if there's been some kind of data corruption, or even if there was some kind of man-in-the-middle attack, which we doubt would happen, but it's the web, can happen. Before we load that data into Aero app, we do verify with that signature, and so security is maintained from the time it leaves our machines in terms of processing until it gets onto your machine where you can use it, and it's part of the active data cycle. So that's definitely worth noting as well. So with that, that concludes the demos. And Alex, back to you.
Thanks, Hilton. So Carla is going to give us a quick demonstration of the Contact Us form on the aeroapp.info page. So whenever our users have an issue with Aero app or something just isn't functioning the way that they should, the best option for getting quick, responsive help directly from, Hilton Software, our developers, is to go through this page. So Carla, take it away.
Thank you, Alex. Hello, everyone. So the easiest way to get some help regarding Aero app is to go to aeroapp.info. You can navigate over to the support tab up here and click on Contact Us, and you'll be directed to this page. You can just fill out your name, your email address, your phone number, and write us a quick message. And once you hit send, it'll come right over to us. Some helpful tips. If you can let us know what version of the application you're running, what platform, and also what operating system your device is running, that will really go a long way in helping us to determine what issues you may be having or to help you out with any questions you may have. So just really quick, now that we're here on aeroapp.info, I wanted to give everyone a quick tour. So once you get to our homepage, one of the first things you'll be able to see is our notices section. So these are click to expand. These will help everyone with some useful information. Right now we have the webinar series up top. Any information will be in yellow. Any new releases will be in green, and any urgent notices will be in red. If you keep scrolling down, you'll notice a data availability and software availability bars. If you click on data availability, you'll be able to see what the current and upcoming cycles are. Green check marks next to it means the data is available. You can always click download data to download here. If you click on software availability, you'll be able to see what software is available for what platform. And you can also click down here to download the application. Another way you can download data and software is by navigating up here to the downloads bar. You can click on data up here, or if you click on software, you'll notice we have several ways for you to download the application. You can do direct to device, go to the Apple App Store, the NGA store, you can use your CAT card, or go through G-Hub. Down here, you'll be able to see a few of our newest features, just quick snippets with little descriptions. However, if you want more information, you can always navigate back to the top. You can go to what's new, or go see our feature list, or we also have a feature comparison matrix. You'll be able to see what's in the current and previous release for all platforms. Now, if we go back to downloads, you see that we also have available for you user manuals and the quick start guide. Now, you can download manuals for every platform for current and previous releases. Same with the quick start guide. Now, the quick start guide is just a one-page summary of what you would need to get your application up and running with data. User manual, of course, is a little bit more in depth. That'll help you out with all the features, setting up your application exactly how you'd like it. Now, if we go over here, most of you, I assume, are familiar with the Aero user database. If you navigate here, you can reset your password or create your new account. Of course, if you have any issues, you can always navigate back over to the Contact Us page. And over here, you'll see that we also have some other helpful tidbits for you. If you navigate over to the FAQs page, you'll have some of our most asked questions, as well as a section for the newsletters. For those of you who don't know, the dissemination team has started up some newsletters with last month, and they'll be coming out every data cycle, and we'll have them here for you to download. Now, they will contain useful dissemination and Aero app information, so if you haven't signed up to receive them, now would be a good time. Other than that, you also have a link to the YouTube page for Aero app. If you have any questions, there's some quick demos on there. There's some video tutorials, so you'll find them very useful. And if you have any other lingering questions, again, feel free to get in touch with us. We are here for you. Thank you. Back to you, Alex.
All right, so as you can see, the aeroapp.info website is a really great resource for users to obtain information about the latest updates to the app, some of our new features, and for support. So it's simple to use, and the team at Hilton Software is incredibly helpful and responsive. At this time, we will open it up to any questions, comments, feedback on the app.
Well, while people are thinking of questions, I want to let you all know that we are expanding some of our outreach. We plan on visiting some bases. If you have training you'd like assistance on, developing a syllabus, or us coming to talk to you, feel free to reach out to us for that. We are planning on attending the National Guard Association Conference in Las Vegas in August. In October, we're attending the Airlift Tankers Association Conference. We'll be at the Army Aviation Association of America Conference in April of next year. And we could be adding other conferences. But again, if there's some place you think we should be, feel free to reach out to us, let us know. and if we can build it into our schedule and our budget, we could possibly attend. But we're definitely open to doing WebExes with you if you need training with your crew members or your mission planning people. Feel free to reach out to us.
As Bruce mentioned earlier, this is your app. We want to hear, your thoughts, your questions, how we can make it better. So if you have any comments or questions or want to just give us some feedback on the app, you're more than welcome to send us an email at the email listed on the slide. That is aerodistro@nga.mil.
Well, if there's no questions or open discussions, we appreciate your time. Thank you for stopping in. Please share this with your friends. These have been recorded, as Alex said, and we'll share those. But we have them every cycle. Hope you share it with your friends, let them know, and we look forward to speaking to you again.
Yep. Thank you all for attending our first webinar. There will be a survey that comes out after this via email, so please give us your feedback. Let us know what you thought. For more information on the features and updates, please be sure to visit our aeroapp.info website or contact the dissemination team directly at aerodistro@nga.mil. We look forward to seeing you all in July for a discussion on the Aero data server, multiple routes, and drag and drop features. Have a great rest of your day.